season, and join me live on YouTube. I'll be answering your questions there. But basically, we just started Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde happens 3 times during the year. It's actually the planet that goes most retrograde out of all the planets, and over these next few weeks, you're going to be feeling its effects. So I'm going to be sharing some tips with you about how to get the most benefit from this retrograde season, because when planets go retrograde, they're actually an incredible opportunity for growth. And especially October is a really October is super packed with so much energy, and so the veil between the different dimensions is super thin right now, especially because we have a full moon on Halloween, on Samhain, on Dia de los Muertos. So this month is really jam-packed with a lot of spiritual energy. So Mercury retrograde, it looks like it's going backwards from here on Earth. That's why it's called a retrograde. And our ancestors, they used to think that when a planet went retrograde, that it was actually traveling through the underworld. And guess what? This is heightened by the fact that Mercury retrograde is in Scorpio right now. So Scorpio is the ruler of the underworld. It goes into your subconscious, it goes into the shadows. So I'm going to be sharing some tips about how you can work with this Scorpio Mercury retrograde, or Mercury retrograde in general, even if you're watching this later on and it's not Scorpio season, then you really need to work with this in a really empowering way. And right now we just had some technical difficulties, and that's one sign already that Mercury is talking to us. Mercury, during Mercury retrograde, often is going to affect your technology. So make sure you back up all your files, make sure you reset your passwords, etc., write them down in a safe location, because when Mercury goes retrograde, it tends to make things go haywire, especially when we're talking about communications and technology. And so join me on YouTube Live, where I'll be answering your questions. So I'll be answering the questions on YouTube Live here. So hey everyone, also let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you're feeling during this time. I know a lot has been going on, and especially during October, I've been sleeping for 9 hours. Like, I've just all of last week, my energy has been zapped. Like the downloads, the activations, we're all getting them, and they're coming very intensely. Like I said, there were 2 full moons in October, and this month specifically is a really powerful month for us to purge, and that's how the rest of 2020 is going to play out as well. So let me know how you have been feeling. I know earlier when we were doing the YouTube live, some of you said you were getting vivid dreams, you were feeling super exhausted. This is normal, because right now we're getting a lot of activations. So it's very important for you to just listen to your body and rest. When planets go retrograde, and it's not just Mercury going retrograde right now, there's actually 4 planets in retrograde right now: Mars, Uranus, Chiron, and Neptune. Okay, so this is a lot of tension, and it's also a lot about going inwards, right? Because when the planets are going backwards, it's a sign for us to go inwards. And so right now, especially if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling super sleepy. I mean, I've been sleeping so much. It's a time for you to rest and really tune into yourself. Okay, so how can you have a smooth Mercury retrograde? So like I said, Mercury is going to affect your communications, it's going to affect technology, it's going to affect the way that you think, because Mercury is known as the messenger of the gods. So back in Greece, Mercury was known as the messenger of the gods. So Mercury rules all types of communication, spoken communication, written communication. And so right now, over these next few weeks, it's very important that you pay very close attention to the words that you're using, because people will misunderstand you. There's going to be conflicts in your relationships because of the different sort of movements that Mercury is having right now. So that's why it's important for you to really take a breath, and let's say you're having a conversation with someone and they trigger you, because Mars is also in retrograde right now. So that's why it's important for you not to get triggered and respond. Okay, don't react to them. Don't react to what they're saying, because Mars is retrograde until November 13th, and Mars energy is very fiery, and so a lot of people are going to say nasty things to you. You know, they're going to try to push your buttons. And with this Mercury retrograde, that's going to be heightened because it governs communication. So right before you're about to react to someone in a conversation, just take a breath and respond. So take a deep breath, focus on your solar plexus, really embrace your power, take a deep belly breath, and that's going to help you to tune into your power, because your solar plexus, it's in your belly area, and that is connected to your personal power. Okay, so for those of you guys on Instagram, join us on YouTube Live. Love you. The link is in my bio, okay? So when you guys are doing this, right, breathing in from the belly and channeling the energy from your solar plexus, you're going to be able to communicate from your power. Okay, that's a very important thing, because again, there's going to be a lot of misunderstandings. Okay, so one more thing about Mercury. Okay, Mercury also governs communication and the thought process. So over these next 3 weeks, again, Mercury retrograde right now is from October 13th to November 3rd, the day of the elections. So there's going to be a bunch of mishaps with the US elections. Because when Mercury goes retrograde, it usually tends to make things go haywire. So what I would recommend is, like, really spend these next 3 weeks thinking about and reflecting what it is, like what is sort of been a challenge for you in 2020. 2020 has brought so many different challenges for all of us, but for you specifically, think about what are the thought processes, what are the beliefs that you've been holding on to, and how you and really take this time for Mercury retrograde and connect with the planet. You can connect with the planet. That's what I did. That's how I got these messages. I astral traveled to Mercury, and I felt its energy, and I was asking the planet, because it's a being, it's a living being, it's a living being. So just connect with Mercury and ask, you know, what are the belief systems, what are the thought processes that are holding me back? Okay, because that's what Mercury retrograde is going to dictate. But if, let's say that you don't take this time to meditate, to reflect, then Mercury retrograde is going to hit you on like the lower end of the spectrum, meaning that you're going to be anxious, you're going to be completely lost and confused. Okay, so that's how you can avoid anxiety, confusion, doubt, by really creating space for yourself, by journaling, by meditating, by reflecting, by walking out in nature, and just really reflecting on what are your thought processes, what are your belief systems, and how are they positively or negatively impacting you. Okay, those are two things that are good for you to do during this retrograde season. What I would also recommend that you do during this retrograde season, I'm gonna get my stone right now. So I am wearing, I would recommend that you wear blue crystals over the next 3 weeks. So this is Larimar. This is the stone of the divine feminine. It's a stone that connects with your throat chakra, with your heart chakra, with your crown chakra. And so we have these in our shop, but you can use any blue stone. Like, this is blue apatite. So use any blue stones, because again, these next 3 weeks, they're going to be all connected to your communication. It's these next 3 weeks also, your dreams are going to get super vivid, because Mercury is going retrograde in Scorpio. And when you think about Scorpio is a sign of, Scorpio is a sign of the subconscious. So with Scorpio, it really brings us through the underworld, through our subconscious mind. And so it's a journey from how do we take things from the subconscious mind through the conscious mind. Scorpio deals with sensuality, with rebirth, death, transformation. And during this time, it's very important for you to see what needs to die, what belief systems, what toxic habits, what emotions need to be transmuted and rebirth to make sure that you have an amazing ending to 2020 and a great momentum to 2021, right? Because it's only like 3 months away. And so I would definitely recommend that you wear blue crystals or place blue crystals on your throat. Blue kyanite is also really good. I always wear blue kyanite. That's really good for communication. If you don't have a blue crystal, then what you can do is you can go ahead and just grab you can grab a quartz like this, and you can just program the quartz to help you with your communication. Before you program it, just cleanse it, and then just set the intention to remove all programming from your crystal. And you can just ask the quartz, because quartz is one of the most versatile crystals. You can program quartz with anything. So just ask the quartz to help you to communicate better, to open up and balance your throat chakra. We have a free throat chakra activation on our IGTV. I'll add the link to that in the description of this video. It's really powerful, and again, it's very important right now for you to speak your truth, to really be comfortable using your voice. But remember, be very careful and be very aware of the words that you're using over the next 3 weeks. Because of this Mercury retrograde, it's really going to play with your subconscious mind. Now, one of the things also about Mercury being retrograde in Scorpio is that Scorpio rules the subconscious mind. So what is connected to the subconscious mind is your dreams. And just like most of you have been having a lot of vivid dreams lately, those dreams are going to intensify even more, because what happens is that Scorpio, it helps us become more aware, more in tune with what is in our subconscious mind. What are those shadows? When we talk about what are the shadows within us, it's more about what are those aspects of ourselves that we don't accept about ourselves. So for example, I'm super impatient and I don't accept that about myself, and I have a unhealthy relationship with how I view my impatience. That would be an example of a shadow aspect. So what Scorpio will do is Scorpio will help you to bring these themes from your subconscious mind, which you almost never have access to, only while you're dreaming or when you're in hypnosis, like meditation. So what it will do, Scorpio, is going to bring up these themes up into your dreams. So in the next few weeks, you're going to be having dreams with exes, with ex-bosses, ex-co-workers, ex-lovers, and also not just people from your past, not just past relationships, but you're also going to be getting dreams about past situations, maybe things that you're holding on to that you need to let go of. So I want to share with you guys a message that I got from Mercury. So I got a really beautiful message from Mercury, and like I said, I astral projected to Mercury to get to feel the energy of what this Mercury retrograde season will be like, and how we can work with it for our best benefit. Can you guys see me? Because I'm not seeing any live chat. So I don't know, we've just been having a bunch of technical difficulties. So make sure you're backing up all your passwords and everything, because it's really going to affect, thank you, Melissa, it's really going to affect your technology. Now, what I did is, before we couldn't go live on Instagram, and so what I did is I just paused and I just sent some love to Mercury, and then I was able to go on Instagram live. That's how powerful love is. So whenever you're having any issues over these next few weeks with technology or with people in general, just send Mercury some love and watch how that's going to transmute the situation. Thanks to all of you who told me that you guys can see me. I appreciate that. Okay, so I got a message from Mercury, and what the message was about, I'll just read it to you. This is what came. The darkness arises for the purge. So the darkness arises for the purge is basically, as Mercury goes into this underworld, the darkness, it's really going there to purge all negativity, to purge old belief systems, to purge karmic vows and contracts that no longer serve us. So it's really setting the stage for all of October. October has really been a month of purging and releasing, and that's why a lot of things from our past are coming up into our conscious awareness now, either through dreams, through messages, etc., etc. So just know that this is a time to purge, okay? So then it went on to say that let go of doubt, guilt, and shame. These are chains, and they tie you to situations in the past. So you can do a visualization where you're literally just closing your eyes, going to a meditation, and you're just thinking to what are the specific memories in your life tied to guilt, shame, fear, anxiety, these lower, denser emotions, and just watch yourself like with your spirit guides, or watch yourself with your higher self or with your inner child, just literally breaking these chains. Because now, because we're ending this 26,000-year-old cycle, we can break these karmic cycles and break these karmic chains much more easily. Okay, so that's something that you can do this exercise at some point during Mercury retrograde. Okay, and then it's saying allow the movement to guide you, and I thought that was really beautiful, because it's saying move into the, I honestly can't even read my handwriting. That's so funny. I can't read my handwriting, but it's saying move into the blank. So it's saying move into the current. Move with the current. And that's it. And I love this message because Scorpio is a water sign. That's a chakra to some people, but Scorpio is actually a water sign. And the water signs are very intuitive, very spiritual, very psychic. So it's saying move with the flow, like go with the flow and allow the messages to come to you. And in Chinese astrology, Mercury is actually the planet of Mercury is actually the planet, the element connected to Mercury is water. That's in Chinese astrology. But in Vedic, in Vedic astrology and in Western astrology, Mercury is represented by Earth. Okay, so all in all, it's very important for us to remain practical, right? Earth is very grounded, very practical, very focused on the material. And so over this next 3 weeks during this Mercury retrograde, just tune into the practical aspects of your spirituality. Once, like for example, let me give meditation is practical. Maybe you can do a cleansing in your house, a cleansing of your space, a cleansing of your energy. Organize your home, because your home represents your internal energy as well. So if you have clutter around, that's going to also bring clutter to your inside mind, to your emotional state, etc. So it's important to be practical, do practical things in the physical world, and that will allow for more energy, more messages, more signs from your spirit guides to come into you. Okay, so I love those two tips. Also, I asked what's the theme for this retrograde, and Mercury said revelation. Okay, this is a time of revelation. So like how it started, right? The darkness arises for the purge. So we're going to be seeing a lot of darkness, a lot of corruption, a lot of hidden stories, a lot of hidden belief systems from the collective, from ourselves, go up and be revealed. That's basically what's happening right now, and it's gonna happen so much more. And the first thing I think about is like the elections, how there's gonna be so much stuff coming out about all candidates, so a lot of stuff will be revealed and come up to the surface. But also for yourself, a lot of your hidden, maybe you think you are over an ex, or maybe you think you finally forgiven an old coworker, but all of these things are going to come up to the surface again if you have not ended those karmic cycles. Okay, so and then another message that came in was trust and surrender to the messages. So trust and surrender to the messages. October is a very spiritual month. We have the full moon on October, on Samhain, on Halloween, on Dia de los Muertos. So this is gonna be a very, very, very beautiful and very high charged portal. On October 17, we have the Arcturus gateway, where Arcturian star seeds, the Arcturus star is gonna be aligned with our planet, and Arcturus is actually 200 times more powerful than our sun. It's 100 times brighter, but when you look at the other types of rays, it's like the UV rays, etc., it's 200 times more powerful. So this second half of October is really going to be charged with a lot of information streaming in, available to us. So just surrender and trust yourself. It's so important for you to trust yourself. Okay, one of the things that we have to do during this Mercury retrograde is release self-doubt. Release the fact that you think you're making this up. Release your self-doubt of whether you're actually receiving messages. So that is the number one thing. So how can you actually release self-doubt? It's through surrendering to the fact that you are a channeler. Just like I'm channeling information from Mercury, from my astral projection there, you are also able to channel this. This is available to all of us because we are all divine beings. You know, we are God manifested in a physical body, and you would not be watching this right now if you were not a light warrior, if you were not a channeler, if you were not a divine being, and you are. So why would you doubt God? Why would you doubt divinity? So again, just keep reminding yourself, like, I am divine, you're this perfect divine being, and the messages that you're getting are divine as well. So just allow your ego to step aside and allow your higher self to come in and share this wisdom with you, because you are carrying so much unique wisdom inside of you. Each of us are, because we all come from different lineages, we all come from different star systems, we all have different types of DNA, and we are here to release these light codes to the rest of the world for this ascension process to happen. It's not going to happen with one person channeling. It's not going to work that way. It's the return of Christ consciousness, not one Christ, not one being, but our consciousness together. Okay, when we talk about Christ consciousness, we're not talking about Christianity or religion. We're talking about the consciousness of unconditional love and acceptance that Yeshua, the ascended master Jesus, taught. Okay, so just remember that. Keep remembering that whenever you're doubting yourself, that when you doubt yourself, you're actually doubting God, because you are God in a manifested body. Okay, so those are just some of the messages with Mercury. I mean, there's really a lot of different I just want to share one more message that I got. So this was on October 10th, and it's saying unification ensures that we have a smooth transit. Okay, and so the shift that thou hast waited for, that's what the message was, the shift that thou hast waited for, and unification allows that shift to happen very smoothly. Okay, when we say unification, it's really uniting together in our wisdom, like we're doing right now. So find more spaces like this where you can connect with like-minded beings to exchange information, to share wisdom, because that's how we're going to get through this to actually manifest the fifth dimension. Okay, so also I mentioned blue crystals for Mercury retrograde, but I would recommend that you get one more crystal. So this is fluorite. Fluorite is a really amazing crystal for clear thinking, for focus. So that's why I have it next to my desk. So if you have fluorite, it can be any color, it doesn't matter, because fluorite comes in different colors. So use fluorite to help you with your thought process, to make you more focused. Because like I said, when Mercury is retrograde, Mercury is affecting our thought process. It's affecting the way that we think about things, the way that we solve problems, etc. And that's why having fluorite with you will help you. So if you don't have fluorite, then use the quartz crystal that I recommended, and just set the intention that you're going to, the quartz crystal is going to help you with clarity in your thinking abilities, because that's what's going to be impacted during this Mercury retrograde. Okay, and we always gift a small fluorite crystal whenever you purchase a crystal from us, so you can get one that way as well. So over this remaining part of the retrograde season we have 4 planets in retrograde. So just remember to stay calm and just really embrace your power, and it's very important that you remain calm and centered during this transitionary period, especially because we're seeing a lot of unrest across the world. We see a lot of unrest. There's massive protests in Jakarta, in Indonesia, in Belarus, in Chile, like in Hong Kong. These massive protests are everywhere. Why? Because Mars is also in retrograde right now. Mars is the planet of war, aggression, passion, desire, and action. So also remember that, okay? I'll add the video of the Mars retrograde channeling in the description of this video. So just remember to stay very calm, especially as we're changing. And Armenia is also having protests. So this is just going to continue to happen across the world. Why? Because we're going through a transitionary period. Also, Mars is in retrograde. Mars is really triggering people's buttons right now, and it's very likely that we're going to start seeing that more across the world and even the US. Okay, so what is important for you to do is pay attention to your dreams. I'm just going to summarize what you can do to have a smooth Mercury retrograde, okay? Number one is write down your dreams. A lot of messages are going to be coming in your dreams. Write down any symbols, any patterns, any names, any numbers that come to you. I mean, like last week, I had this incredible dream, and it's never happened like this before, like so clear, but I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard Neptune, and then I went back to sleep, and then I woke up a few hours later, and then I heard Poseidon. And like the messages are going to start coming so clearly to you as well, and just write them down. Go research them after. I mean, I had no idea like what Poseidon did, and I found out that he's the ruler of water, and Neptune is the ruler of water as well, and they're actually both the rulers of storms and earthquakes. So it was interesting to get those two messages without even knowing anything about these topics. So just know that you're going to be receiving information that might not make sense to you. It's okay, it may not make sense to you right now, but eventually it'll make sense later. So that's why it's important to keep a dream journal. You're gonna see some amazing stuff coming into your life once you start to keep a consistent dream journal. Okay, so that's number one. Write down your dreams. Number two is I would recommend that you start using blue crystals. Place them on your throat, or just wear them, because Mercury retrograde is very important that we focus on our communication. Blue crystals are connected to our throat chakra. So just over these next 3 weeks, remember to respond to people. Don't react to people, respond to people. Take a deep breath before you respond, because people are going to misunderstand us, okay? People are going to misunderstand us, and it's just because there's just a lot. Mercury is going to affect all of that, okay? So just have patience with people. That's also very important. Patience is a very, very crucial virtue to have. I'm still working on it. Okay, and then other thing to do is also to work with the Scorpio energy and really venture into your shadow self over these next few weeks, and pull out any chains that are tying you to your past, any relationships, any beliefs, any situations, any emotions, and just break away these chains. And the way that you can do that is through meditation, is through self-reflection, journaling, etc., etc. There are many different ways to do that. We have a lot of meditations. I'll put one in the link in the description of this video so that you can connect with your shadow self and heal the shadow self, because that's what Scorpio connects to, okay? And Scorpio is also going to be a big player because we're entering Scorpio season. Scorpio season is going to start on October 22nd. And when we look at October 22nd, October is 10, the number 10 and 22. And so when I look at number two relates to patience, communication, etc. So that's why it's such an important theme that you work on this now, so that during Scorpio season, like, you'll just be enjoying it and having an amazing time and getting ready for Halloween and the celebration that Halloween brings to us. Okay, so those are the things that you guys can do that will help you to really tune into your wisdom, and also to help you have a smooth Mercury retrograde. And the last thing, of course, this is the most important, is to really trust yourself. Let go of self-doubt. Let go of the worry, am I making this up? Let go of am I doing this right? Let go of what will go wrong if. So let go of those worries. Let go of that self-doubt, because that is what's going to be the biggest blocker to you getting messages, okay? And like I said, we're all channels, we are all getting messages, and it's important to tune into that wisdom you have inside. And the thing that's going to block that the most is your self-doubt, okay? So just release that. You can do it in a loving way. You can do a connection with your inner child to let that go. Basically just look at your inner child and say, I see you, I'm aware of you, and I honor you. And then your self-doubt is literally gonna disappear. It's gonna it's gonna vanish, literally, because the inner child has been accepted and has been recognized and has been seen. So it's gonna have no more role to play, okay, because you've sort of integrated it. Okay, so that's a tip that you guys can definitely, that's the number one thing I would recommend for you guys to do tonight. It's going to take you it's going to take you a minute to do that. So that's the most important thing, to act, not just to learn but also to act. That's so important. So like I said, I got these messages when I astral traveled to Mercury, and tomorrow we're going to be having an astral projection class where you will also learn how to astral project to Mercury, to Pluto, to Mars, to Arcturus, to the Pleiades, to Sirius. So you can astral project to all these different planets and star systems, but you can also astral project into the different dimensions. Fifth dimension is only one dimension. There's 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. There's so many different dimensions, and there are different types of wisdom. There are different types of beings in these dimensions. So why is astral traveling so why would we astral travel in the first place? Well, the CIA released a paper in 1981, and the CIA actually published a paper. It's declassified now, that's why we can read it. And the CIA was actually using astral projection, and they actually used astral projection and remote viewing to spy on the Russians during the Cold War, because it was too risky after World War II to send American spies into Russia. It was too risky to do that. So what they did is they created these schools. There were these remote viewing schools, and they were created in Menlo Park, California. They were also created in Arizona, and also in New York. So there's these different schools all over the US, and they would actually teach people how to teleport, how to biolocate, and how to remote view, because then they would be able to spy on the Russians and whoever else they wanted to spy on, without actually sending a soldier there. So that's awesome. That's why I astral project. I don't astral project to spy on people, but I astral project to check up on my grandparents to see how they're doing, if they're feeling healthy, etc., because my grandparents are across the world. And so that's something that you can do. I know that during quarantine the airports are closed and stuff, but you can actually astral project, and you can take a cosmic vacation. It's not just about going to different dimensions and different planets, but you can actually astral project within the earth. So you can go see the pyramids, you can go to the Amazon, you can go to you can go to Antarctica. So those are the different things that you can do with astral traveling. But it's not just fun. The way that I use astral traveling is to heal my past lifetimes, because when we come into this reincarnation, we're actually carrying a karmic DNA, and that's inside of our DNA here, but it's also connected to our ancestors and our starseed ancestors as well. And so with astral projection, you can actually astral project into previous lifetimes. So you can astral project into past lifetimes. Now, why would you use that for healing? Because let's say that you're thinking, why do you keep attracting the same toxic boss? So you will astral project to go see when is the first time that you sort of created this karmic vow and created this karmic contract with your soul to attract karmic bosses the word is escaping my mind, but like someone above you. Why are you creating those patterns? So when you astral project, you can go to see where's the first time that this pattern emerged, and then you heal it, and that's going to affect your life here on this planet. You can also astral project into future lifetimes. So let's say you're trying to decide whether you want to buy a house in Florida or you want to buy a house in California. You can actually astral project to see what your life would be like if you lived in Florida or if you lived in California, and that'll show you the different probabilities. And think about how valuable that would be to figure out, to play out future probabilities. It will save you so much sanity. It's going to save you so much sanity. And so that's something that that you can do with astral projection. You can also use astral projection to connect with loved ones who have passed on. Now, at our last class, this was a class a month ago, and we had, his name was we had a guy, Ryan, and he actually astral projected and he connected with his cousin who had been murdered. And it was just such a beautiful experience for Ryan to see his cousin and him continue to be alive in a sense, because death is not the end. Death is just a transformation. And so it was so beautiful for Ryan to see his cousin, and his cousin told him that he was okay and not to worry, and he was crying and everything, and it was just such a cathartic, beautiful experience. And I just want you all to know that, especially Halloween, during this October period, we're going to be getting a lot of connections with our ancestors and loved ones who have passed away, because the veil between the different dimensions is very thin right now. So it's a really good time for you to connect with your loved ones, especially if you have not had closure, if you didn't want to, if you want to do some healing with those relationships, because they are still existing, just in a different form, right? Death is not the end. Death is a transformation. So you can connect with loved ones. You can, at the astral projection class, you'll also learn how to, we're having an astral projection class this Tuesday. So if you're interested, you'll learn how to connect with your spirit guides and with your animal guides. Why is this important? Because a lot of people who practice astral projection, they don't do it safely. It's very important that you go into the astral plane with sort of like I don't want to call it protection, because we don't need to be protected, but you want to go in with like a shield that's going to distort any energy that's going to mess with your energy. Okay, so that's why you take a spirit guide or an animal guide with you. And in the class, if you don't know who your animal guide or your spirit guide is, you will learn how to connect with them in the class. And a lot of people met their spirit guides for the first time in their lives, and they were just so happy, and they were also crying, because meeting your spirit guide for the first time ever, it's like seeing your parents for the first time ever. It's just such an incredible experience. I love my guides, and it's just like, it's such a beautiful relationship. So that's what you'll learn in the class. You'll also open up your heart chakra, your third eye, your crown chakra, and your stellar gateway chakra as well. Yes, I said stellar gateway chakra. We don't just have 7 chakras anymore. We have 12 chakras now. And the stellar gateway chakra is a chakra, it's like 12 inches above our head, and it's gold, and it's there to connect us with all the different planets and all the different dimensions and galaxies out there. And so at the astral projection class, you'll open all of these up, and that's how you'll be able to connect with your spirit guides and astral travel as well. I saw the chat. Oh, why can't I see the chat? That's so weird. So Wrongs asked, do we need extraordinary psychic ability to learn to astral project? So everyone's psychic. We are all psychic. And the thing is that we have different psychic abilities, and with psychic abilities, it's just like any other skill. You have to practice, and eventually you'll start to get results. So you're all psychic. Psychic abilities can be learned. It's not, sometimes, yeah, some people have them naturally, but you can also learn how to fine-tune them. So in the class, you'll actually learn how to astral project, so that you can open up your third eye, your crown chakra, which are very much connected with psychic abilities. Okay, and you'll do this in a very safe place, because like I said, some people don't do this safely, and they end up meeting beings who are scary and who just want to play with them. Okay, but in the class, where a lot of the techniques are going to focus on safety, and then you're going to learn the techniques to astral project, and then half of the class we will actually be astral projecting. So half of the class is just astral projecting. So that is what's most important to me. You know, all I care about is that you take action on what you learn. Hey Felicia, so it's very important for me that you get results, and that's why I've had so many people who took this class and they were able to astral project, you know, within the class itself, because I care about you getting results. And you guys can go check out the testimonials, all the amazing stories from people. Honey will add the link in the description, in the chat, for the astral projection class. Again, the class is tomorrow. We have limited spots available, because I want it to be intimate, to make sure that we answer all your questions, because again, the astral plane can be kind of crazy, because there's so many different things happening, and I need to make sure that all of your questions are answered and that everyone's safe. So we limit the space of the class. So if you're interested, you can, Honey's gonna add the link in the chat. So yeah, Verna, Bernadette, I love that. 44 people. So 44 is a number of foundations, of grounding. So I love that all of you guys are here right now, because it's so important that we stay grounded during this retrograde period, because as we're grounded and as the purge happens and all the darkness comes up to the surface, people in our communities, people in our houses, they're going to look to us to create that sort of strong foundation and help them move forward. Hey, Michelle. So Sarah, yes, you can still join the class, and yes, you will get a recording of the class if you can get a recording of the class if you're not able to make it live. But this is not a class that I offer like I don't offer it. I only offer it during certain periods of time. So there's you can just get the recording if you join the class tomorrow. Okay? And then I have a really awesome and exciting announcement for you guys. So we really appreciate your support, and as you saw, like all the issues that we're having with Instagram, so Instagram has been deleting some videos right now. I had trouble getting getting live, so we're actually moving our content to YouTube, and so we're going to be doing a YouTube giveaway. So we're going to be giving away one of these beautiful pyramids. All you have to do is you subscribe to our channel, and in a month, so on November 13th, at the end of Mars retrograde, we're going to be announcing a winner. But this is a black, so we'll give you one of these crystal pyramids. These crystal pyramids are really good for creating a harmonious space. It's going to basically serve as a shield to filter out any distorted energy that's messing with you, and you're going to be getting one of the pyramids that we've been using for our crystal grid ceremonies that we did in Mount Shasta. So we went to Mount Shasta, which is the root chakra of Mother Earth, and we did a crystal ceremony there. And what we did is we connected with the starseed beings. So if you're especially connected with starseed beings, then definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm glad you loved your pyramids, Michelle. How did you feel the energy? Because these are all activated. All the crystals on our shop are activated, and these are the ones that we used during our crystal grid ceremony. So you just have to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get entered into the sweepstakes, and it's pretty simple, and we'll let you know if you're a winner. Strong and peaceful all at once. That's powerful. You know, it's very hard. It's very hard to get like two emotions at once, especially those like strong foundational ones. So I love that. But I hope you guys have an incredible Mercury retrograde. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'll be on for like a few more minutes because I have to go get dinner soon. Also, remember to drink a lot of water. It's so important to drink a lot of water right now because of all the activations that's coming. I'm so happy you enjoyed your crystals, Bernadette. That makes me so happy. So Wrong asked, I've been sleeping after 4 a.m. for several months. Nighttime, it makes me feel more inspired, but if I feel it's not very healthy, is there any tips for that? I mean, honestly, you need to listen to your body, Wrong. So I'm also a night owl. I get more done. I'm more productive at night than in the morning. But if you don't feel like it's healthy, then maybe you can switch it up. Like 1 week you sleep early, 1 week you stay up late, and you switch it up like that so your body gets to rest as well. What else? Will it count if we're already subscribed? Yes, Lisa, it'll count if you're already subscribed. Have you gotten any messages about 1221? Well, look at the numbers and you'll already see a message. That's a master number because look at the symmetry between those numbers. 1221 is a huge gateway portal. Like that needs its own video, to be honest. It's gonna be a very powerful time for sure. So I'm excited for that. I'll make a separate video for that. How can I deal with an increase of anxiety? So you can increase, oh, that's cool that that's your birthday. So how can you deal with anxiety? So what I would recommend is definitely exercise, because with anxiety, it just means that there's a lot of energy in your body, and it's not your fault that you're anxious because the sun is spitting out solar flares right now, and they're very overwhelming. So it can be very overwhelming on your body, and if you don't integrate them and ground them into your body, it will lead to anxiety. So what I would recommend is, number 1, exercise. Number 2, meditate. We have a bunch of powerful alchemy meditations here on our YouTube. So number 2, meditate. And number 3, I would say work with crystals. Black tourmaline is a really good crystal for anxiety. Rose quartz is really good for anxiety. And so use those crystals to help to ground you. And I would also recommend that you be more compassionate with yourself and just take very deep breaths. Whenever you're feeling anxious, just take a deep breath. And as soon as you take deep breaths, your mind is going to automatically slow down, because we think that the mind is here and the body is here, but the mind and the body are not separate. The mind and the body are divinely connected. And so when you take deep breaths in your body, your mind is going to start to align with your body and with the breath. So your breath is going to help to slow your mind down. So that's a very simple technique that you can do. Will Mercury retrograde in Scorpio affect Scorpios more? Yes, definitely. It's going to heighten your psychic abilities for sure if you're a Scorpio. So I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your night. You're welcome, Romina. And just be compassionate with yourself, because that's really important. October 28th is your birthday. Happy early birthday. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow in our astral projection class. If not, I hope to see you at our full moon ceremony. Again, our full moon ceremony is going to be on Halloween, and I'm so excited for that, because we have not had a full moon on Halloween since 1944. So it's been a really long time. It's going to be very special, but also this is the second full moon of October. It's this is known as a blue moon. So it's very rare to have 2 full moons in 1 month. This happens only every 2 to 3 years. So this is going to be a very special ceremony. If you want to join our full moon ceremony, you can, Honey will add the link in the chat, and we'll also add it in the description of this video, or you can look at it in my Instagram bio. So I hope you guys have an incredible Mercury retrograde. I'm wishing you guys a very smooth Mercury retrograde. May you guys really embrace your power. May you face your shadow and integrate that beautiful power of the shadow within, because the shadow is not something that we should push away. It's just an aspect of ourselves that we need to merge, because black and white, they need to be united. It's no longer about duality, it's about oneness. So really integrate all aspects of yourself, because like I said, you're perfect, you're a divine being, and it's time to embrace more of that. So I hope you guys have an incredible October. Really tune into your intuition, release your self-doubt, and open yourself up to receive the messages. Bye, Emily. Bye, Emmy. Much love, guys. Have an awesome retrograde.